let's put it this way. All of your bearings are hardened and they're in bearing races, which means they run around in the little areas. That's called a race. They race around. If any of those hardened bearings loses their hardness and becomes rough, what they will do is they will start disintegrating all the rest of the bearings around it. Or if they get little pieces of pistons in there, or if they're not manufactured correctly, they will absolutely work on each other like it's full of sand, and they will disintegrate each other and fuck it all up. Then you have to go and buy new bearings. And I would suggest if you're buying racing bearings for these, go to and get authorized Japanese-made Honda bearings in whatever you do. Now, what I usually do is I go to BikeBandit.com. The reason I go there is because they have the same microfiche details and the same thing that you would find at a Honda dealership. And you can go through and look at their schematics for, say, like the parts on my gyro or this, or say if I had a Hayabusa, or that, I don't think like they do Aprilia or Ducati. That'd be cool if they did. But you can go through and look at all the parts, and you can get a current price. You punch in the price or the part number, buy them, and they send them right to your door. Another good thing about seeing the schematics is that maybe you don't want to buy the parts, but you can get a feel about how the engine or the frame or the wheels or the gas tank or the electrics are all put together. Because Bike Bandit, what they have is an exploded view of all the bikes and every one of the parts that are on them that are available. Now, some of the older bikes, like say the gyro, some parts are not available, like the decals, or there are just a lot of parts on the gyro, which is a very nice bike, but they're just not available. So Honda just doesn't make them anymore. So you have to get them used. That's another good place to look for advice on how to do that. But your bearings will work into your back transmission, and your transmission has a primary and a secondary gear system, which it's very hard to go into because it's all based on ratios, and I'm not exactly sure how that works. But my rear gears in this rear transmission, and it holds about an ounce of oil. You fill it up right there in that little thing right there. But my rear gears are geared for the bike to go about 80 miles an hour. Your standard gears in a Honda Dio or a Honda 50 are regulated. If you had all the power in the world and you were going downhill, wind behind you, your stock gears could take you to 52 miles per hour. Now, you won't get that on a regular motor. I mean, you won't get that with a regular Honda 50cc engine. But the gears are geared to do that. Once you go into stroker motors, the power ratio changes so dramatically, you cannot use stock gears. If you go stroker, like this one is, you will have to go with higher ratio racing gears. And there are probably 6 or 7 sets. I believe there are. And then on the sets, you can change your different primary or secondary gears to create even more weird ratios. And I don't do that because I got this going fast enough. But I think that you can get some really high ratio gears if that's your thing.